welcome to HITC Sport and... Sorry, I just wanted to be like Jamie Carragher. Right, Liverpool are broken. Just like your knob, if you stick it in a cheese grater, it just don't work anymore. Remember that utter Merseyside beast? And no, I'm not talking about Sporty Spice. No, the footballing behemoth who utterly dominated both English League and Europe for a good 18 months. Nowadays, those same players couldn't even dominate a game of Pictionary. I'm sorry, but watching Liverpool play without fans in the stadium, it just feels a bit pointless. It's a bit like if Stormzy headlined Glastonbury when there was no one in the crowd except his mother. We all know the noise of the Kop. They've carried this club through big European nights. They've dragged them kicking and screaming to trophies. Cause don't you tell me that Liverpool would have stuffed Barcelona 4-0 if they were only cheered on by 4 ball boys and a paramedic. People say the fans are like a 12th man. In some cases, that's a load of horse testicles. For example, what real power do West Brom fans have? But for Liverpool, it's like chopping off one of their limbs. Cause you really think if there were thousands of working class, passionate scousers stuffed in this stadium, this team would have just been allowed to sleepwalk to 3 defeats at home in a row. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold is allowed to stroll through a game as if he's just having a picnic in the local park. Sadio Mane is when he scored once at Anfield since September and nobody seems to care. Jurgen Klopp seems to think he can get away with sellotaping a centre-half pairing of 2 midfielders. Nowadays, these same fans are forced to just sit on the couch, watching their dynasty crumble around their feet. And it's fair to say being completely helpless stuck at home, watching Phil Foden use their proud stadium as his own private toilet. It must be like watching a videotape of your own conception. You're most likely gonna feel like vomiting into your own hands. Alisson's done it twice! He's done it twice! Oh my god! Oh my god! How is this possible?
Oh, you're joking! Just get it out!
Honestly, mate! Honestly! That's not right! That's not right! Jesus Christ!
I'm sorry, but if this guy had neighbors with working ears, they'll probably have called the police. This guy has just reacted as if he just witnessed his own mother bite the head off his cat. I mean, Christ above, calm down. If he's prepared to cough up his lunch over this, I'm not sure how his voice box ever survived the Champions League final in Kiev. Actually, Lars Karius is probably the reason he's f***ing bald.
Oh my god! Dope! What are you doing?
Congratulations to Manchester City.
No, don't give a nice thank you to Man City when after 10 minutes ago you were close to suffering a stroke live on air. Cause be honest, deep down you must feel like grabbing Phil Foden by the ankles and dunking him headfirst into your toilet. This guy is reacting as if he's just paid to watch a live feed of his own granny's OnlyFans. Now yes, to be fair, judging by these clips, you'd assume Alisson had just chucked in a dog's dinner of a performance, and he did, but this is still a living club legend. By far and away the most important goalkeeper in the history of your club. Yes, okay, he had a 5-minute panic attack against Man City, showing the decision making of a Halloween trick-or-treater who decides to knock on the door of a registered sex offender. Yeah, I wanted a bag full of Kit Kats, not 14 years of weekly therapy. No, but no, don't get on Alisson's back. Oh my god, let's try and do it. 500,000 subscribers. Whenever would be nice. If you're new and you'd like to see more videos like this and the football origins coming soon, then smash that subscribe button and yeah, let's just get back into it. Someone who you can level some criticism at though is Thiago Alcantara. And listen, fine, no one else wants to say it, I'll say it. Thiago Alcantara is a flop. This guy has limbs more fragile than Daniel Sturridge. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a makeshift elevator chair on his stairs. Christ Bob, this guy probably has a bar installed in his shower. The amount of games he has missed since 2012 is an utter joke. But not only that, he slows the play down. This man is not suited for Liverpool's high intense gigging and pressing. So factor in his weak knees, the fact that he has a body clearly made of plasticine, and the fact he's just not suited for this team, then it isn't any surprise that we're nearly in March and he's still waiting for his first win in Anfield. You might think Liverpool have been sloppy since Christmas. No, they've officially been sloppy for a year. For Liverpool fans, this is supposed to be how my mother felt at parent-teacher meetings. She'd go in once a year and they'd tell her I failed every exam and clearly had a brain made of ready brick. I don't know why it kept blowing her mind. This is what happens when you give birth to the side of a ditch. Right, let's rewind back to 15th February when half the squad probably spent Valentine's Day night making love to their pillow in a Norwich hotel. But no, this was the moment. Up against bottom of the table Norwich City. Does everyone remember how bad they were? Honestly, they're like the footballing version of a punctured condom. After Christmas, they had the backbone of a wet cottage pie. Anyway, for 78 minutes the score was 0-0, with Liverpool allowing the bottom of the table Newcastle sandwich to get into these goal-scoring positions. Good Christ, Norwich even hit the post. Sure, Sadio Mane came off the bench to grab the late winner, but this was the first crack in the armour. The first sign that this Liverpool team were getting tired. Sure, it put them 25 points points clear at the top of the table. 25, that is utterly ridiculous. It was their 17th league win in a row. They'd only dropped 2 points all season. It looked too easy for them. You can't blame the players for starting to believe their own hype. But I suppose, don't think for a second that Jordan Henderson didn't go home that night and immediately grope his own reflection in the mirror. This was a European Cup winning captain for Liverpool, on his way to an easy Premier League title. I wouldn't be surprised if he made his own wife call him Stevie G. But the following week, West Ham go 2-1 up at Anfield in the second half. And again, Sadio Mane scrapes a late winner, and again, nobody says anything. But then 5 days later, a 3-0 embarrassment at Watford. Oh, and let's not forget the Champions League holders were dumped out in the last 16 against Atletico Madrid, with Adrian doing his best Karius impression, pretending as if he had gloves made of wet spaghetti. That's how you end up losing your place on the bench to someone from Cork. And then they were forced to come from behind to grind out a 1-goal win over lonely Bournemouth, and then lockdown. Right, that should have been the moment where they should have recharged their batteries, aimed to finish the season by breaking the 100-point barrier, and already started to prepare for next season. But no, when they returned in June, it was like they just spent the previous 3 months sculling tins of Carpacci on a beach. They lumbered to a boring goalless draw at Everton. Tom Davies even hit the post. 2 weeks later, they were getting utterly chewed apart by Man City. 4-0. Liverpool fans probably forgot these results ever happened, because anything that happened after March, who really cares? The title was sewn up. So you've probably forgotten then that Burnley were the width of a crossbar away from getting all 3 points at Anfield. They could have ruined your unbeaten run in July. 4 days later, you were losing to Arsenal. You might think these results had no bearing, that they were irrelevant.
Oh, it didn't matter, Irish guy. We already won the league. Go jump off a bridge.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe the only thing these results cost you was a 100-point season. And after 30 years of winning the title, I'm pretty sure you didn't care about that bonus. It's a bit like waiting 30 years to lose your virginity. By that stage, you're not really gonna care whether or not the woman looks like Susan Boyle after melting in a microwave. You just kind of want to get it over and done with. But these results did stay in the system. After 3 years of refusing to give up, what you let seep into the system was an element of sloppiness and arrogance, which has cost you points in the games that matter. Because 1 month after the Emirates defeat, you were then forfeiting a piece of silverware to them in the Community Shield. Roy Keane accused Liverpool of being sloppy in the 3rd game of the season when they beat Arsenal at home. And Jurgen Klopp nearly burst a casket in his brain. He might as well have said that his wife looked like an unshaved gorilla. But 1 week later, and they're conceding 7 at Villa Park. I'm sorry, but would the Liverpool team pre-February 2020 have conceded 3 at home to Leeds, allowed Ollie Watkins to score a first half hat-trick, and toss away 2 points in the Merseyside derby? Then the November trip to the Etihad. They were playing a City team who had recently conceded 5 at home to Leicester, being coached by the guy who, you know, you sacked for Jurgen Klopp, and yet you had to rely on a missed penalty to even live with a point. Again, further drops at Brighton, Fulham, West Brom at home, Newcastle, and they lost to a team that Man United stuck 9 past. They were a Paul Pogba miss away from losing at home to Man United, and then both Burnley and Brighton leave Anfield as winners, before it all culminates in this 4-1 flattening at home to Man City. The second time City have stuck 4 past you since you won the league. Oh, and let's not forget they were dumped out of both the FA Cup and EFL Cup in the 4th round, lost at home to Atlanta in the Champions League, before scraping a draw out in Denmark. This Liverpool team are nearly 30 points away from what they were at this stage of the season. And don't tell me that it's all down to Virgil van Dijk's absence. Injuries are going to happen. Yeah, the man is a massive miss, but I don't care. Find a solution. Maybe sign a ready-made top-class centre half. Ozan Kabak is a 20-year-old stopgap. And don't even get me started on signing defenders 4 years off 30 from Preston. Back in 2013, you all laughed at Man United for dropping to Preston Standard. Well, look at what you're doing right now. I think this is a case of Liverpool believing their own hype. This time last year, everyone was bigging them up in the media, telling the world this was the next great superpower, arguably the greatest Premier League team of all time. This nucleus of a team, what makes them great is that they're full of hard-working players who've worked their nutsacks off to get where they are. I mean, that method doesn't really work for every player. I mean, Wilfred Zaha emptied his nutsack at Old Trafford and he was quickly told to leave. Andy Robertson, this is a guy who, if Jurgen Klopp never showed an interest, he would have signed for Stoke. By rights, he'd now be stuck halfway down the championship. I'm not saying he's not a top-class defender, but how many Premier League clubs sign a left-back off the back of 2 relegations? Again, Brendan Rodgers once tried to sell Jordan Henderson to Fulham. Mo Salah was a Chelsea reject. Gini Wijnaldum officially spent pre-season as a championship player. James Milner was a disrespected benchwarmer at the Etihad, becoming nothing more than a nutmeg meme. Even the goalie, he used to play second fiddle to Wojciech Szczesny. You know, the guy booted out of Arsenal for smoking in the shower. These players were not born with a silver spoon shoved in their gob. No, they fought and clawed their way back from rejection to get where they are on this planet. But now this season, they seem to think they can just waltz through games and win. I've said this before, this could just be Jurgen Klopp burnout. Let's not forget, in his last season at Borussia Dortmund, he had a talented bunch of players bottom of the league in February. I think this glorious Liverpool era is actually pretty short-lived. The front three of Firmino, Mane and Salah all turn 30 next season. The club captain will be 32. Let's not forget Stevie G was finished at 33. This is an old squad. Even Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's inching closer to 30. Yes, even the Ox. They've they've done what they set out to do. But if you think Klopp is going to be the next Fergie, reinventing the wheel every 10 minutes, recycling teams over and over again, it's not going to happen. The man has been at Anfield for 6 years now. He was at Borussia Dortmund for 7. For a guy who works in such an intense way, he needs a breather, and with Steven Gerrard about to complete the job at Rangers this season, I think the perfect solution is for Klopp to walk away in 4 months' time, leaving the door open for Stevie G to completely overhaul the squad, bring in his own fresh ideas, stamp his mark, and go again. Give Klopp the statue. He's a world-class manager, and arguably your most influential boss is Bob Paisley. What he's done at the club is nothing short of a miracle. When he took over and targeted a league title in 5 years, at a minute you all thought he was speaking out of his arse. Half of you probably thought he was a busted flush. This is a guy who just tumbled his way out of a Bundesliga relegation battle. He was being offered the West Ham job that summer. There was a danger of him slipping into forgotten territory. Clearly 18 defeats in his last season in charge had damaged his credibility, to the point where a former Bundesliga champion was now being offered the chance to replace Big Sam. But listen, he bounced back, he's been an utter genius, but I think it's time for a break. Anyway, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.